please get inside your houses. Shots fired in the village, please get back in your houses.
Please, people, they are waiting at our windows for us. Please, we need help.
Ons het die patroon gekry in die jaar, hulle het hierso ook geskiet.
What you've just heard are WhatsApp voice notes sent to us by terrified residents of a once prosperous mining village just outside of Krugersdorp. This is West Village, a small community who live in residential houses that used to belong to the mine. But the village's glory days are long gone, and homeowners here say that once the sun sets, they lock themselves inside their houses in absolute fear. The sprawling 1,700 hectares of waste piles and open pits which surround West Village used to be a rich source of gold for Mintails Mining South Africa. But in 2018, the company was placed into final liquidation. Since its collapse, Mintails has been embroiled in litigation around an unfunded environmental liability that runs into the hundreds of millions of rands. 𝗃𝗵𝗶𝘀 has lived in West Village for more than a decade, but in recent years he says the crime situation has gotten so bad he's now letting his children live with family in Pretoria, and he blames the violence on the notorious illegal miners known as 𝗪𝗪𝗪s. And how was it before? How would you describe this place?
This was a nice place, though there were some shacks on that side by Makulukam, but there were no problems of these 𝗪𝗪𝗪 people. There were 𝗪𝗪𝗪s, but there were not troubles like now. There's a big trouble now because of them. They are the troublemakers.
As Mintails imploded, the gold-rich land was overrun by 𝗪𝗪s, men willing to risk their lives to enter abandoned mining shafts in search of valuable minerals. In 2019, we accompanied police during a tense standoff with an armed group of 𝗪𝗪s on the Mintails 𝗀𝗂𝗋𝗋 gold plant after it had been looted by hundreds of illegal miners.
The police say the 𝗪𝗪s are still on the hill. We're going to go with them in this 𝗃𝗃𝗃 and just see what develops.
Fast forward to 2021 and the 𝗪𝗪 problem has escalated, with experts estimating there are literally thousands of 𝗪𝗪s now working the old Mintails properties. Shafts like this one, rich in ore, are hotly contested, and gun battles between rival factions of 𝗪𝗪s are an all too regular occurrence. Stuck right in the middle of it all, the residents of West Village.
It's dangerous. Like before you arrive here, I think it was about 10-15 minutes before you came, there were 2-3 gunshots not far away from here.
Is this a daily occurrence?
As I'm telling you now, other day they were shooting in front, on this road, in front of my house. One bullet hit the roof here.
And bullet-riddled bodies are often found littering the streets.
So about 2 months back, somebody was shot behind my house, dead.
This leaked footage shows an attack on a gold processing facility just a few kilometers down the road. A large group of 𝗪𝗪s shot one security guard while others were held at gunpoint and badly beaten. Village resident 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗃 says they've also had terrifying run-ins with the 𝗪𝗪𝗪s.
My son was walking his dog and he was on his way back home, and 4 of them started to chase him. And he ran into the yard, and 4 of them followed him into the property. They shoot one of our dogs. The bullet is still inside the dog.
𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, the family's beloved mongrel, has since recovered, but both he and the 𝗃𝗃𝗃s have been left traumatized by the events, especially when they hear the all too familiar sound of gunshots at night.
Everybody in the house is very, very scared. Sometimes my daughter and my boys is sleeping with us in the room. It depends on how the shots is going.
Through careful negotiation, we were allowed access to a group of 𝗪𝗪s who operate about a 5-minute drive from West Village. We found a uniquely South African situation. The 𝗪𝗪s were mining right beside a licensed mining operation. The miners and the 𝗪𝗪s here have an agreement to stay out of each other's way. The illegal miners we met were willing to speak to us as long as we didn't use their real names.
Let's say liability hand, right? Get the shelter thing,
Go hard depend, like I begin got Holland, Tolabuma, 1 gram or 2 gram. I sent him
1 gram came to Munga.
Ee, ke mosebetsi o mongata ona o thola.
And then for grame eo e le nngwe ke bokae? Ha le rekisa bo bokae? So marketing ke bokae?
Ka 450.
Ke o le rekisa ka 450.
That means a kilogram of Zama gold is worth 450,000 rand, and those prices have attracted organized crime syndicates. Heavily armed gangs often take over whole groups of Zamas and force them to work for the syndicates under threat of violence. The Zamas say that's what's causing the crime on the streets of West Village.
Ke bona batho bana ba ntseng ba re sahlela bana ha ba fihla ehlile ba re lwantsha ba re thunya ka nnete bona ba fihla.
Even in licensed mines like this one, conditions underground are treacherous. But workers here have the benefits of health and safety protocols and structural engineers who constantly monitor the tunnels for any sign of a cave-in. So this is a legal mining operation and it's quite safe, well, that's what they say. We're using our own lights so that we can see where we're going. I cannot even imagine what it must be like with the lights turned off and you don't even know where you're going. The underground world the Zamas inhabit is a dirty, dangerous place, with no support beams or other safety measures in sight. The men will often spend weeks underground, eating and drinking only the food they can carry with them, and performing back-breaking labor in search of elusive gold deposits.
And as you can see, it's very informal, and the guys use their own ways and means to break the rock down, and hopefully this is where all the gold is.
Security expert 𝗀𝗶𝗶𝗆 has consulted with some of South Africa's biggest mines on the illegal mining problem. He says the situation on the West Rand has gotten out of control.
It can go up to 200 per group fighting with semi-automatic weapons. It's very violent and they take no prisoners. The strongest survive. That's the rule. It's managed and run by the illegal miners at this stage.
Nel says ordinary policemen are simply not equipped to deal with the problem.
So it's always become like a no man's land. Is it easy for police to come in here?
No. If you just take a normal policeman from the Randfontein police station, he arrives here in a Nissan NP200 bakkie. They have to attend to a fight between rival groups. They're using high-velocity weapons, semi-automatic weapons. It's just not going to happen.
And even when the police do bring in the big guns, finding and arresting armed groups of Zamas in pitch darkness in terrain the Zamas know like the backs of their own hands is an uphill battle.
What we are seeing is just how difficult this is for the police. It's a lethal game of cat and mouse. The Zamas can be anywhere, in the bushes, in the mine shafts, in this equipment. It's really a thankless task.
Could formalizing the industry get rid of the violence?
So there's always two sides to a story, and illegal mining in South Africa is a complex social issue. So we've traveled to the Northwest Province to the National Association of Artisanal Miners, not Zamas.
Chairperson 𝗀𝗁𝗆𝗀𝗆 says the artisanal miners his association represents have formalized themselves into cooperatives and are lobbying government to allow small-scale operations like this one to be decriminalized and licensed. He believes the move would take away the leverage criminal gangs have over his members.
It is operated by the cartels. Yes, these people, you will find that behind them there is a rich person who has a lot of money, who is sponsoring them, and then who's giving them this ammunition.
A hard day's labor for these men might not even produce a single gram of gold, and they still have to split their earnings. 𝗀𝗁𝗆𝗀𝗆 says because the work is still classified as illegal, they can't complain to the police when the syndicates arrive.
When they get here, they will sometimes take us hostage, and then we will just have to work for them under their terms and conditions.
On the 5th of May this year, government released a draft policy that aims to formalize the illegal mining sector. Attorney Lauren Nell from the Legal Resources Centre, an organisation dedicated to improving human rights through use of the law, says they welcome the move.
It is something that we consider to be an achievement. The policy looks at various aspects of artisanal mining, from what the definitions are for artisanal mining versus small-scale mining, what the licensing regime will look like. What's very nice about it is that they obviously look at artisanal mining defined areas being set up.
But residents of West Village like Stephen Ndlovu would like to see government take much stronger action to sort out the problem.
Why don't they give us like SANDF to have a camp here maybe for 2-3 months to control the situation.